Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for joining us today. This has been a highly requested topic from all of you, so we are here to bring it to you. We listen, we hear you. So we brought in some experts for Dell Support Assist, and this is your chance to ask all of the questions. These are the two experts that we got. So if you have questions, this is your time. We will answer them all at the end of the webinar. Hopefully, some of them get answered during the presentation. But just a quick reminder, this is a Zoom webinar, so this is being recorded. If you have a question, you can put it in the chat or in the Q&A section. We will try our best to get to all of them. If we can't, we will collect them all and answer them in the post-event communications and post them on the DTUC website. Just a reminder, we do have our survey, and 4 lucky survey participants will be selected to win a $25 Amazon gift card. We really value your feedback. This will help move Dell going forward and the Dell Technologies user community. So we really, really appreciate your feedback. So do not forget to fill that out. And just a reminder, we will have Jess and Emily back later this month on the 28th for the Dell TechDirect Deep Dive webinar. So if you've got questions about that as well, come join us. Once again, we will answer all of your questions. It's another very highly requested topic. And then if you want just all of the information you could possibly imagine and more, come to our Dell Technologies User Community Solutions Summit on October 19th. This will be an all-day event. We've got some great prizes. It will truly be worth your time for all of the information we'll be able to gather. If you were a part of last year's, I'm sure you had a great experience. We are going to try and bring the same thing, if not better, to you this year. Without further ado, I'm going to introduce our speakers. We've got Jess and Emily. They are the pros. So I know you're here to listen to them. You want to hear them speak. Jess, with that, I'm handing it off to you. And once again, just to please keep all of your questions in the chat and in the Q&A. We will do our best to get to all of them.
Thank you, Jack. Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen today. I think you guys should be able to see it now. Great. All righty. Well, welcome you guys. Today we're going to talk to you about Support Assist for business PCs. And just some quick introductions between Emily and I. My name is Jess Fairchild, and we have Emily Warren here. I'm going to do a quick mic check for Emily. Can you hear me?
Hi, yes, Jess, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I sure can. Thanks, Em.
Thank you.
All right. So just a quick run through of the agenda that we have for today. We're going to do a quick technology introduction with Support Assist and how it flows into the TechDirect portal. We won't go too deep into TechDirect. As Jack said, we have another session coming up on the 28th. So today we'll focus purely on the connect and manage pillar in TechDirect for Support Assist for business PCs. And then Emily is going to walk you guys through a live demonstration in TechDirect. Technical issues pending. But if not, we have a backup that you guys can check out as well that we will be sharing. And then, of course, we're going to leave time for some questions because we want to make sure that we are setting you guys up for success. And with that, let's dive right in. And let me open my chat box really quick, make sure I'm not missing anything. Alrighty. Okay, so have you guys met Support Assist? One of the biggest questions that we get is, what is the difference? Because I'm sure you guys are all well aware that we have 2 versions of Support Assist. We have Support Assist for home PCs, and we have Support Assist for business PCs. Today's conversation is going to be around Support Assist for business PCs, which means that you can manage an entire fleet of PCs from 1 to, say, 5,000 laptops in the TechDirect portal with Support Assist for business PCs. The main difference between Support Assist for home and Support Assist for business PCs is that Support Assist for home PCs is your personal support experience. It is a one-to-one experience. So Support Assist is our smart connectivity technology that keeps your PCs running like new, anytime, anywhere. And you stay in control of a better PC experience with proactive and predictive issue detection and resolution capabilities, quick analysis of your PC health and performance, latest driver and firmware updates, and 24/7 support, and you get additional protection from viruses and malware. And the option, this is that home versus business, that single PC experience or an entire fleet. So do you know which one is right for you? One of the biggest caveats to take away from this slide is if you have a customer who's wanting to manage more than their personal PC from a centralized location, which would be TechDirect, then they need to build that deployment package of SupportAssist for PCs in TechDirect. There is not a direct link on Dell.com where they can go download it. That direct link that you find on Dell.com is the home version. I had a customer and a sales team member that for a whole year had a conversation with their client about pushing them to that home download button, and that is not the right version if you're trying to manage an entire fleet. So with that, I'm going to jump into our next slide. That's just going to further kind of talk to you about that difference between home and business PCs. So again, SupportAssist for home is that local support experience on an individual PC. It is not shared with anyone else. The SupportAssist for business PCs is that centralized location for multiple PCs in a single dashboard of TechDirect. So that is the difference. I will pause super quick for any questions. I don't see any in chat. I just see a couple of recording questions that yes, this is recorded, and absolutely they will be sharing this post-event. And then I will jump into this part. So again, talking about TechDirect with the Connect and Manage pillar today, that's our SupportAssist for business PCs. That's the area of TechDirect we're going to focus on today. If you guys join me on September 28th of this month, we'll be talking about the rest of the lifecycle pillars that make up the robust tool that is TechDirect. So just a super quick recap of SupportAssist for business PCs. It's again our connectivity technology that uses an intuitive online dashboard in TechDirect to manage your entire PC fleet. So you can drill down into individual service tags for individual systems, monitor trends, get your proactive and predictive issue resolutions, our recommended updates, and all those great things directly from your TechDirect portal. And you can drill into problem systems based on location, or age of device, all those kind of things. You've got lots of great, robust details that populate in that TechDirect account for it to help your IT team manage that experience. And then just a quick review of TechDirect. It is your end-to-end PC experience. There are a few infrastructure items that are in TechDirect, but we will cover that more robustly in our September 28th session, because that's more in our deploy field versus the connect and manage field. So end-to-end IT control, all the way down to those individual service tags, fleet-wide visibility and management. You can assign, and you have total control for assigning and customizing your preferences. And that flexibility is truly crucial to how you get to experience that dashboard. So with that, I'm going to pop over to an offer slide. So to get all of these great features from SupportAssist, you actually have to purchase ProSupport Plus or Flex. Those are the right two columns here to unlock all of these benefits. But the biggest thing to remember is that once you purchase this, you do have an additional step. You have to go into TechDirect and build that custom deployment package and setting your unique preferences for how you want SupportAssist to interact your individual systems. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Emily to start taking this away for us. Emily?
Hi, thanks, Jess. Can you hear me okay?
Sure can.
Perfect. Thanks. I've been having audio issues today, so I was glad I could make it work for this call. Yeah, so I just want to quickly touch on this slide some more. I don't know if we have any ProSupport Suite for PCs customers on this call today, but we really want to drive home a couple of things real quick. So this is our good, better, best chart of what you get when you're buying your service contract from Dell. And as you can see, the top half of this chart is what we think you should expect from world-class support. If you look at our competitors, if you look at the industry and the benchmark standards, these are the things that you should come. They're the bread and butter of the support. And so we think that these are things that need to be integrated into. And the bottom half of the chart is how Dell does more. We don't just stop there. We want you to get more from your service experience with us. And so the big thing to call out, as Jess said earlier, the lower half of this chart, so everything from Dell doesn't stop there down, is enabled through, number one, have you set up your TechDirect account? And number two, have you deployed SupportAssist for business PCs? So if you are a ProSupport Suite customer and you have not chosen to go in and create your TechDirect account and activate SupportAssist and deploy to your system, then you are opting out of over half of the features that you have paid for with your service. So we really want to drive home how important it is for connectivity to be a part of your environment strategy and plan. And we want to go through today and show you guys some of the top things that we hear from our customers about what they love when they connect SupportAssist successfully. So if there's any questions about service plan or level entitlement, we're happy to have those conversations as well. Jess, if you want to go forward. Thank you. So let's get started. So the big thing is that you have to take the time to set up your account in TechDirect and then connect and deploy SupportAssist to your PC fleet. So the first thing is you go in, you register your company for an account in TechDirect. This takes approximately 3 minutes. It's really simple to come in and set up your account. And then you have to activate the Connect and Manage pillar that Jess was talking about in the life cycle. We're in the Connect and Manage pillar inside of TechDirect today. And then the second is configuring your instance of SupportAssist, downloading it, and then deploying your package. And then the last is that since you've successfully deployed it, you have the ability to remotely manage and monitor your entire PC fleet from one location, one dashboard inside of your TechDirect portal. Yeah, and you're able to access that anytime, anywhere. The next part we like to talk about is our PC management APIs. So this is something that we launched earlier this fiscal year. We heard from a lot of our customers that they really liked the telemetry and the insights that the TechDirect dashboard, when you deploy SupportAssist, could give them, but they had their own homegrown tool and didn't necessarily want to use TechDirect. So they asked us if we could have APIs available for customer consumption. And so we have created PC management APIs that bring back that incredible rich telemetry data. So if you have your own homegrown environment, you could send the APIs back to your unique dashboard. I have put together a packet of resources and materials, and so Jack is going to help me make sure that we send those out at the end of the call, and I'll also put them inside of the Zoom chat when I have a moment. We have an API one-pager, and so I'm happy to make sure that you guys have access to that. And thank you. And then how we access our PC management APIs, it's in a different pillar inside of TechDirect. So I just want to quickly call this out because we're not going to be spending time today in the Get Support and Replace Parts pillar. We're going to be spending time in Connect and Manage. But to get to the APIs, you go to the Get Support and Replace Parts pillar. You go over to the APIs tile. You make sure that's activated. And then you can click on the form to fill out the request to get the API information, and you'll be contacted within 1 to 2 business days with that approval. So this is how you would go through and get API access if that's something that you're interested in trying. So we get asked all the time, what's new? What has SupportAssist put out in market recently that we may not be aware of? So SupportAssist recently launched a new version July 31st, so the end of our second quarter for us, and it's version 3.4.1. And so the big bulletized categories of what we have that's new, we are able to deploy SupportAssist for business PCs now using Microsoft Intune. That's one of the things that customers gave us a lot of feedback about, that they wanted to be able to leverage that technology for mass deployment. The next thing is that we are able to support near real-time updates to your configurations. So say you go into your configurations tool, you want to change how SupportAssist is behaving on your end-user PCs. You can do that, hit the Save button, and then those new configurations are automatically deployed out to the PCs associated with that instance of your deployment in near real time. So you don't have to redeploy. We've taken away that step, so you can be very nimble in changing your configuration preferences as you want. We do have the ability now to enable temporary admin access for PC users with SupportAssist. We also have the new ability to integrate into a separate offer that's not ProSupport, but if you buy secure component verification, we can tie into that now. Some of our federal customers or a lot of our healthcare customers purchase secure component verification, and we have a tie-in with that now. we are able to support the new version of Dell Trusted Device. Dell Trusted Device is what powers the security scores behind your main SupportAssist dashboard inside of TechDirect. So it's very important that we partner internally with our Dell Trusted Device colleagues and that we give you guys the latest and greatest. And then we have a lot of enhancements to the custom catalog capabilities. These enhancements were a direct result of 3 or 4 customers that came to us earlier this year and wanted to have more control over a larger part of their mixed fleet. And when I say mixed, I mean mixed entitlement fleet. So not all ProSupport, they had basic ProSupport, ProSupport Plus, and how they were going to get those catalogs to a mixed environment fleet. So that's all that's come out with our new release in 3.4.1. And again, I'm happy to take any questions. Thanks, Jess.
Yeah, quick interruption. We have a question from Eduardo in the chat about building PowerShell scripts and Excel macros for TechDirect APIs. So Eduardo, we are in the process of opening up a library within TechDirect for you to be able to store those signed PowerShell scripts to be able to utilize within the tool. So that is an update coming soon. I think early next year. I think April is when it's set to launch. So stay tuned for that. And Emily, are you ready to do the live demonstration? Or do you want to go straight into the slides?
So I think I'll start with the demo. So let me get my TechDirect portal up over here, and I will take over share if that's okay.
Yep, I will stop sharing.
Okay, thank you. And if y'all can please bear with me, I'm going to be hopping back and forth between my browser and the PowerPoint deck. So bear with me as I try and get the toggle to work for me. If somebody could please verify that you can see my TechDirect dashboard.
I can see it. It's loading.
Okay, thank you. Oh, thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate that. Whoever gave me that in the chat. Okay, so this is TechDirect when you get here. And when you first arrive at TechDirect, of course, I have an account. So if you don't have an account, you're going to be prompted to create one. Like I said, it takes about 2 to 3 minutes. It's not very time intensive. And then from there, I want to just call out a couple of things that I think is really helpful. And so the first thing is that we do have a help center. So sometimes folks are like, I wish I understood how this worked in TechDirect, or how does this work? We do have a full tour of TechDirect that you can take if you want to click through that. We also have a ton of really helpful FAQs. We've really tried to update these and be really prescriptive with them based upon the feedback that we get from customers. So please take full advantage of the FAQs. We've tried to really make them helpful. And then I want to alert you guys to something that has been new and launched in the last quarter. So if you are trying to go through a deployment of SupportAssist and you get stuck and you need help, we now have a direct line to our SupportAssist agents that are monitoring this particular queue inbox. So if you come to the Contact Us section, you fill out your information and you go to Services and you select SupportAssist for Business PCs, and then you select what your problem is. So are you having a problem getting your inventory or group set up correctly? Are you having a problem getting connected? Then you can put that here and write a message, and then your request, also if you have an attachment, will go directly to our L1 and L2 agents that are monitoring this box. So you have more of an opportunity to get help quicker and with an expert that understands SupportAssist and TechDirect. So I'm really excited to share this with y'all so you can have help more efficiently and quickly. All right, so moving over to the dashboard section. So like I said, we're going to spend the majority of our time today in Connect and Manage. This is where SupportAssist lives inside of TechDirect. From Connect and Manage, you're going to go over to Manage PC Fleet. And then you're going to come in and hit Manage PC Fleet again. And I am in a production environment, so sometimes it spins out. I apologize for having to wait for the dashboard to come up. I know it can be aggravating. Okay, but while we wait for that to come up, I'm going to go ahead and jump to the overview dashboard slide. I'll walk you guys through this while I wait for that to populate. Let me swap my view settings. Okay, so this is an overview of what the TechDirect dashboard looks like when you come in, you've successfully configured and deployed SupportAssist, and your PCs are connected and feeding back their data into your SupportAssist instance in TechDirect. So what we discovered is that our customers were struggling with how to read the dashboard. You know, they're getting all this good information, but what does it exactly mean? What do I need to know about how to read it? And so I created the slide to really help walk you through what your dashboard is giving you. So the first is, if we walk down the left-hand nav over here, our scores, the trends, and the recommendations all have different timetables. We're trying to give you snapshots in time about how your PC fleet is performing, anything that you need to be aware of. That could be needing attention, or if things are all good, giving you that ability to see it. So the top box over here, this is what I call our snapshot of the last 24 to 48 hours. So you can see your health score, your application experience, and your security score. The security score is dependent upon you selecting that you want to have Dell Trusted Device inside of your configuration package. So if you chose to enable that, you should see your security score here. And what you can do is you can see the PCs that are populating into this health score. And what I really want to call out here is that for the health, application, and security telemetry data to appear inside of your dashboard, there has to be some criteria that's met. So first off, SupportAssist has to be successfully configured and deployed to send back data. If you haven't done that, then we can't populate your dashboard for you. Your PC also has to be connected to the internet, and your PC has to be on in an unlocked state and in use. Now, some people are like, well, why does it have to be in use? Like, can it just be in sleep mode? Well, for us to gather the telemetry data that's helpful to populate these scores, we have to see how your PC is performing. So it can't just be done in a silo at like 10 p.m. when no one's using the PC. So we want to know how your applications are working. Are you experiencing crashes? All that kind of stuff. So for that to work, your PC has to be on, unlocked, and in use. And then you also have to have an active ProSupport service plan or higher. So that's ProSupport, ProSupport Plus, or ProSupport Flex. And then the same goes with the PC recommendation data. So the PC recommendation data is this box down here. The same criteria as above has to be met. And then the scans that feed into your recommendations, you have the ability to decide in your configuration package how often you want those scans to run. So do you want them to run weekly? Do you want them to run monthly? Do you have a preferred time that you want them to run? So your recommendation data will populate based upon how you chose to set it up in your configuration preferences. And then the PC has to be plugged in or a battery percent greater than 50% for the scans to be able to run in the background. So I'll pause. I see that there's quite a few chats coming in. I can't read them on the sidebar, but I promise we will make sure that we get back to them.
I'm on top of it, Emily. No worries.
Oh, thank you so much. Okay,
I do have a funny story about the usage. So seeing whether or not somebody's logged in for 30 days or not. We have a couple school districts that utilize our resources. So making sure that, you know, hey, the students are actually logged in and doing their homework. And you can, if they're not, you can be like, hey, did you forget you had school today? So it's one of our favorite features that we hear a lot of funny stories from our customers on being able to utilize. Like, hi, we noticed you haven't logged in today. Maybe come back off the beach today. So just wanted to share a little funny.
Yeah, that is definitely funny. We do see we have a lot of school districts that utilize SupportAssist for business PCs, and it's funny because during the summer months we'll see like thousands of PCs drop off, and then they all come right back on when it's August and school time. So it's funny to watch those trends. Okay, I'm going to attempt to go over to the dashboard. Oh, well, give me a moment. I can get there. And sorry, I'm using a UAT environment, so forgive me for it not being as nimble as I hoped it would be. Okay, well, oh, here we go. Perfect. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is actually go back and show you guys how you configure your instance of SupportAssist. So if you come in for the first time and you're trying to decide how do I want SupportAssist to operate and act on my end user systems, this is what you have to come in and do and set up your first instance of a deployment. I'm not actually going to create a deployment, but I'm going to walk you through what it takes to do that. So the first thing is that you have to set up, this button won't be here your first time around, but you have to set up your contact information. And the reason you do this is if SupportAssist detects that you need a parts replacement, you have to tell SupportAssist where you want it to go and who you want to reach out to. So setting the contact information, the shipping address, and making sure those things are current is really, really important. The next is selecting the operating type. We're actually in the process of making some changes with this. So 99.99% of our users do Windows operating systems. And so right here, my friend Steven likes to call this the keys to the kingdom. So going through your preferences really understanding them is how you know how SupportAssist is going to act and behave on your endpoint devices. So you can, if you want, just use the default preferences that we have chosen for you. So customers who do not want to customize their configuration can use this option. It's built to allow optimal SupportAssist performance. Please note that this option, it doesn't allow the end users to interact with the SupportAssist user interface. All features and capabilities and insights data and actions, they flow directly into your TechDirect dashboard that I just showed y'all this slide on. If you do want to enable your end users to open up their own instance of the SupportAssist UI, then you would not want to select the default preferences. Okay, so let me unclick this, and we'll walk you through. So the first one is you can pick, do you want SupportAssist to auto update or not? Some customers want to keep their systems on the latest and greatest software, so they keep that checked. Some customers want to have a slow roll approach where they will put a small subset of test systems on the latest software and then roll it out to their larger fleets as they go. And so it's all dependent upon how you like to run your business. Like I said, some customers are always auto update and some customers want to have a slow roll to their majority of their fleet. So this is, the other ones are include software information collected in data, include identification information. I will say that security is paramount to us. We are only collecting system state data. We are not collecting any PI or PPI information. And then include smart PC recommendations. So you can come through and check or uncheck any of the preferences that you want. Okay. And then the scheduled scans and optimizations. So this is what I was talking about that feeds into your telemetry data and your recommendations data that I just showed you on the other dashboard. So schedule your scans and optimizations. You have the ability to pick how often you want them, so weekly or monthly. With the hardware scan, do you want to run all of the tests that we have? And we also have another document that I can link to that shows you exactly what we are testing for when we say hardware scan or drivers and updates. I'm happy to share that out. Our little eye doesn't provide the full listing of what we're testing for, but I'm happy to share that documentation with you guys. If you want to skip the resource intensive level tests, you can if you want to. And again, you can pick the frequency of how often you want these things to go. So the run system optimizations. So optimizations are our ability to clean files, tune your performance, optimize your network settings, and then For the PCs that are ProSupport Plus or ProSupport Flex entitled, you also have the ability to do the remove viruses and malware. You can set this weekly or monthly. And then for our ProSupport Plus titled systems, you can also have automatic system optimizations turned on. This is where we do it for you. There's no action on your part to optimize the systems. It's an extra layer of optimizations that we have. And the optimizations will take place automatically and silently in the background without alerting you. Now, the other thing that customers ask me a lot about is time range. So like I said, for the telemetry-based scans, which are like how are your apps performing when you're using them, the health of your overall PC, we really suggest that you pick a time range that is where you know your users are going to be utilizing their PCs. We don't create a negative experience where we use up too much CPU power for the end users. So just be mindful when you're setting your time range. And then for the, for the user interaction. So this is where, do you want your end users to be able to open up the SupportAssist UI on their box and do optimizations themselves, clean files, tune performance? For ProSupport Plus customers, do you want them to be able to update their drivers? So we have a mixed opinion on why you would or wouldn't do this. So some of our very large customers have enabled this option because they want to give their end users the ability to open up SupportAssist and fix some of the commonplace problems that they are experiencing themselves. So it reduces IT support tickets and it reduces the amount of calls that are coming into IT because you're giving your end users the ability to help themselves. Some customers don't want to enable this because they want to be in complete and total control of what SupportAssist does on their end users' devices and their boxes. So it's really about what strategy works best for your environment and what you would or wouldn't like to create with that. And then the last is the remote actions. So again, you can decide when and what time ranges you want the remote updates going out to your PCs, and you can apply that as well. Okay, so I walked through all the preferences. Again, Jess, I'm trusting you're monitoring the chat. I see the chat going up. So
yes, we are chatting
perfect.
away.
Okay,
I do have
perfect.
a question
Thank you.
for you, though. We do have a question about what exactly does tune performance, clean files, and optimize network entail? Do you want to take that, or do you want me to roll with it?
Yes, so I have it right here. So clean files allows users to clear temporary, redundant, or other unwanted files from the PC. I can link out to the specific FAQ document where that is detailed, where that's really detailed out for you. Clean tune performance allows to adjust power settings, the registry, and the memory allocation to maximize the processing speed of the PC. And then optimize network allows users to optimize the network and update PC settings to maintain an efficient and reliable network connection. And again, I'm happy to link out to the documentation that has those things really listed out and really clear about what they do. But that's my high-level summary that I have kind of written as my cheat sheet for myself.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint, so bear with me as I get this swapped, just a second. Okay, so when we were surveying our customers and we were trying to understand out of all of the plethora of features and the goodness that we give to our customers, what were they really, really excited about? And what were they utilizing and seeing great benefits from? And the biggest thing that we heard was being able to keep your BIOS drivers, audio, all of your software updates up to date and current on the PCs was a huge value add and gain for our customers. So we have two different methods of which customers can do that. And so I'm going to walk you through what the two options are. And again, a lot of customers, it's kind of split 50-50 on what they use. And it's really about your environment, your preferences, and how you want SupportAssist to behave on your system. So we have Dell recommended updates. So this is where we use our telemetry data, our data lake, where we, Dell, suggest the optimal drivers and downloads for your unique PCs. So this is the best known configuration where we see, oh, your fleet has Latitude 5500s in it, and it's this model with this operating system. We know that this combination of BIOS and driver updates work best for this specific PC and model that you have. So we're going to suggest this package of updates. So it's very prescriptive, and it's very unique about for your specific fleet. But it's where you trust us to do that. We push the updates out and suggest the combination, the package of the BIOS and drivers and updates for you. And then the other option is custom catalog updates. This is where we give you guys granular control. You go in, you build the package of what drivers, BIOS, audio, firmware updates that you want, and then you push them to the PCs. So it's really about how much bandwidth do you have and which option works best for you. You can try them. If you try Dell recommended and you don't like it, you want to have more control, you can switch at any time to custom catalog updates. You're not locked into one. You can switch back and forth. You're in control. I will say that pushing remote updates that are automated and automatic to your Dell PC fleet is a ProSupport Plus or a ProSupport Flex level entitlement feature. Okay, and Jess, if you wouldn't mind going to the next slide. Oh no, I'm driving this one. Sorry. Okay, so I'm actually going to go over to custom updates catalog first. So the custom update catalogs gives you granular control, like I was saying. And then a lot of people ask me, well, why would you choose one option over the other? So when choosing custom update catalogs, you can customize, test it, and then deploy the updates to your targeted PCs. A lot of customers that have a pretty vast IT support team use this option because they have the time, the bandwidth, the personnel to test catalogs prior to deploying out to their entire PC fleet. So that's typically the justification and the answers that I get for why customers choose this option. So the next question I get is, when will the updates be pushed? So the updates go out immediately once you hit deploy. If for some reason the targeted system is offline and it's not meeting that connectivity requirements that I talked about earlier, it will retry again, I think every 4 hours for up to 72 hours. And then if for some reason it doesn't work within that 72-hour period, you can see that information in the audit trail inside of your TechDirect dashboard, and you can also see it inside your inventory page when it comes to your custom catalog section. So you have the ability to see if it was successful or not getting to the systems. Another reason why customers can pick this option is that if you have bandwidth concerns, what you can do is you can download it locally to a specific network location that you choose, so that when the update is going out to your fleet, it's not having to download each and every single time that you're trying to get to your endpoint device. A lot of our school systems that may have bandwidth concerns choose this option. We had one customer who had like 1,500 pending updates and didn't realize that they had so many pending updates, and they hit update all at one time, and they experienced a lot of network concerns. So the solution that we gave to them was to download it locally and then pick, don't try to push out 1,500 updates at one time. Go through it by category or by criticality, and systematically step through all of your updates. I don't anticipate people would having that many updates at one time, but it was an experience that we had with the school system in South America earlier this year. The other reason why customers pick custom update catalogs is that you can cancel the update that you've manually pushed while it's still in queued status on the progress page. So you have the ability to have more control over it. So I think from here, I'm going to go back into the UI and show you guys the custom updates catalog section itself and try to walk you through that. So bear with me as I go back to TechDirect. Jess, were there any questions I can try and answer live?
Oh no, we're just trucking away over here. We had the question about how our virus and malware scans interact with third-party pieces. It runs in parallel. And then we had another question about creating sites and groups for, pushing updates out to specific PCs versus an entire fleet for quote unquote testing purposes and things like that. But we are just trucking away over here.
Oh, awesome, awesome. And I see we're about 20 minutes left. I would love to address the sites and group question at the end of this. I'll try really hard to walk through that. So thank you for letting me know. Okay, so when you're in your instance of TechDirect, what you need to do is come to Settings, and then if you go to PC Update Source, this is where you have the ability to choose. Do you want to have Dell recommended updates, which again is us, Dell, using our best known configuration to suggest the package of drivers and downloads for you? Or do you want to use custom catalog updates, the one that I just walked through in great detail? If you click on custom catalog updates, this is where you can also select if you want to download the specific package that you're trying to deploy to a local network, so you're not having to download it each and every single time. That's where this option is. So let me go ahead and let me see. I'm going to uncheck this, hit save, and then we can go to the options. Okay, so I just changed it to custom catalog updates. And let me go to the update catalog section. Okay, great. So when you're here, you can create a catalog. And the way that you can do it is you go to select catalog type. And this is where you can make your choices based on the product series, the specific fleet, or model number. A lot of our customers, there's reasons to pick all three, but if you hit the model number, then you need to put in your specific catalog name that catalog name. I'm just going to put test. There's already a lot of testing in here, but I'll just walk you through. Let me see. Test. And then you can write a description of what you're trying to run. And then this is where you would go in and select the model number. So I'll just hit latitude, and I'll hit latitude 3400. So you've selected the specific model and, the series and the model type. Next, this is the OS selection. So this is where you pick which Windows operating system are those systems currently running. Next, and then update type. So this is where you can pick what you're trying to target. Some of our customers do all of them. Some of our customers pick a couple at a time. You're in control of that. And then importance is the criticality level. So do you want to do all of them? Do you want to do critical only? Do you want to do recommended or optional? Again, we're giving you lots of control and flexibility. So I'm not going to actually create one since this is I don't own this test environment, but I just wanted to walk you through what it looks like. And then let me find in here. Okay, so you can view, you can do all kinds of stuff. Let me see if I can get it to open. Okay, so no, cancel. Okay, let me see. I think since this one has already been deployed, I can't click into it. But when you do, you can come in here, you can click the specific catalog that you are trying to push to your systems, and then you can hit deploy. So this is where sites and groups really come into play. You will need to come in and select which site and which groups you're trying to target. Again, I think we could do a whole nother webinar around the the thought process and the prerequisite questions about how you go about setting your sites in groups. If you guys would like for me to come back and walk through that conversation and how you think through it for your environment, I'm happy to come back and do that at another time. But you can pick the sites and groups that you're targeting and then hit deploy. Okay, so with that, I think we've covered custom catalogs and we've got 15 minutes left. I'm going to jump back and go to the Dell recommended options. Let me switch again. Okay. Now for Dell recommended updates, again, this is where we use our vast telemetry data to recommend the optimal driver and downloads updates to your unique PCs. We don't just push the latest updates, we pair the best fit with your unique PC fleet. This is where we're trying to avoid blue screens of death, and we're trying to keep your PCs optimally performing in their best state. So like I said, why choose this option? Some of our customers, they just simply don't have the personnel, the time, or the bandwidth to create, test, and update the catalogs themselves. And so they trust us to push the optimal driver and downloads updates to the PC fleet. So how does it work? SupportAssist will scan your fleet based on your configuration preferences, and we can push remote updates out to your PCs. This is the same thing where if the update doesn't work for some reason, like the PC is not connected to the internet, it's not meeting that connection criteria I walked through earlier, we will retry again for up to 72 hours. And if it still doesn't work, you will see that in the audit trail settings where you can see, oh, it didn't work. So you can have full visibility to that. Okay, so some tips for success. You can see over here, this is a screenshot of the recommendations tab, and in just a minute, I'm going to go back over there and show you live. So we suggest checking your recommendations tab weekly for any pending updates that SupportAssist has found from a drivers and downloads perspective for your PC fleet. You can manually push any pending updates. If you have multiple updates at a time, we really suggest not trying to push all of them at once. You can use your category filter to select a singular type of update that you want to push or a criticality level that you want to push. Pushing one update at a time really helps prevent negatively impacting your network bandwidth. Like I said, we had one customer that tried to push 1,500 updates all at the same time, and that was not a recipe for success. You can cancel an update that you push manually while it's still in the queued status. A lot of customers ask that, so yes, you do have the ability to cancel while it's still in the queued status. Okay, so I'll switch back over to the UI and I'll show you how to switch over to Dell recommended updates and what it looks like in your recommendations tab. Okay, so earlier we set our preference to update catalogs. So now we have to go uncheck that and move it back to Dell recommends. Let's see, so go back to PC update source. And I'm going to go ahead and check Dell recommended updates and hit save. Okay, so if you go to manage and there's the recommendations tab right here. I'm going to click into it. Okay, so as you can see, we found the updates for your PC, and you can see that we've got 48 updates that are right here. So view updates, and you can see the category, the importance, the criticality level, how many PCs are being affected by this. You can scroll through all of this really good information here. And like I said, we don't suggest coming up here and checking the check all box because, like I said, unintentionally you could be pushing out a lot more updates than you realize. So we suggest you could come in and filter by category and say, hey, I'm gonna pick a BIOS. I'm gonna pick BIOS right now. I'm gonna hit the checkbox and I'm gonna update this particular set of BIOS updates for my system. So that's how you go through and see what criticality level do you have, what category do you want to go through, and you can push out the updates to the systems that are affected. All right, so I think with that, that concludes me going through how we can help you get your BIOS, drivers, firmware, audio all of your software updates to your fleet from a remote action. We can remotely update those systems for you. And I think I'm going to take a step back and go back to the overview dashboard now that we hope that it can load. And thanks, Jess, for monitoring the chat. I appreciate that. And let me see real quick. It can take a second to load. Well, I think my overview dashboard's not really loading today. I apologize about that again. I'm in a testing environment, so it's having a difficult time loading today. But I did hear an earlier question about remediation rules. So we do have the ability to have custom scripts that are signed and certified. If you come in here to the diagnostic script area, you can upload a script that you have that you want to diagnose for, and then the remediation script, you can come in and upload the remediation action that you want to take if section A is found, and then deploy it out and figure out the schedule and deploy it out to the system. So we do have the ability to do remediation scripts, and as Jess talked about earlier in the call, in this next fiscal year, a part of our updates is working on having a full script remediation library for y'all to take advantage of, rather than having you guys be the ones that are writing, signing, and certifying the scripts. We have some customers that want to do that, but there are other customers that don't necessarily have that knowledge or expertise. So we want to give you guys both options in the near future. So I think, Jess, I'm going to go ahead and pause because that I think I went through all of my content. I know I flew through it pretty fast. I'm happy to answer any questions. So I think I will just stop sharing and we can go to the we'll just go to the Q&A section. So are there anything I can answer or that you want to take over?
Yeah, no. There are two questions that I have not gotten to yet. And the first one is, how do you handle a BIOS update when there's a BIOS password? So want to talk a little bit about BitLocker?
Yes. So there's one thing I didn't show today, which is the deployment package manager. So after you go in and configure your instance of SupportAssist and you download it, there's going to be a deployment package manager, and the great demo on Demo Center, so democenter.dell.com, or no, maybe Jesse can put the link in the chat. We have your ability to go test and walk through a deployment package. And one of the options is if you want to enable BIOS protected systems through BitLocker, you can add that to your configuration package so the updates can get to BIOS protected systems. So we do have the ability. You have to be running versions SupportAssist of 3.1 or higher. If you have an older version, BitLocker is not supported with that, but we do have the option to support systems that are gated behind BIOS password protection.
Awesome. Thanks, Emily. And we have another question from Bill about how often do clients check in with TechDirect through SupportAssist? Is there a way to force the policy to update ASAP? And yeah, so Bill, I was just going to say, Bill, that really depends on your IT admins and whose responsibility it is to manage the dashboard in TechDirect, because you can set those individual permissions per individual IT admin across whoever you give access to. And you can also give certain admins update permissions versus others not, but you can also select automated update pushes versus manual. So you have complete control of that. And I think I answered everybody's questions. Go ahead, Emily.
Oh, perfect. Well, no, I was just going to reiterate to Jess's point that some of the IT admins are in the TechDirect portal daily and some check weekly. So it's really about how often do you want to check it. And there's other things that we didn't even get to touch on today, like How do you want your alerts to flow into TechDirect? Do you want to be in charge of the alerts that SupportAssist finds, or do you want to auto route them to Dell Tech Support? So there's more richness that we could go over. And again, Jack, if you want to have us back, we can do more deep dive on other parts of SupportAssist and TechDirect for you. And I think with that, I will try and attach some of the documentation. Oh, I did want to say, and I'll just, since I'm still sharing, just for 1 second, let me see. So I would like to show you guys one thing. Okay, so it's very simple to remember. It's dell.com/supportassist. This is the location that Jess and I have created to kind of be your one-stop shop. Our customers were really loud and clear that they didn't like that they were having to go to so many places to find SupportAssist information, and they wanted one destination. So if you come here, dell.com/supportassist, and you go to SupportAssist for Business PCs, which is the version of SupportAssist that we have talked about today, which is where IT admins manage a fleet of PCs, click on this. And then I'm sorry, let me go back. Yeah, all of the goodness is there too. And then if you go down here to connect SupportAssist for Business PCs and TechDirect, I wrote this article so that you don't have to go find all the links yourself. You can have all the access about how do I get connected? Where can I find a demo? Is there a getting started guide that I could access? Is there a webinar I can join? Can I watch a recording? What's new? What are the other customers saying about this? Are there any testimonies that I can read or any videos that I can watch? The partner experience. We didn't even talk about that today. And again, Jack, another topic if you want us to talk about. We have a whole other motion that if you are a partner and you're managing devices on behalf of your clients, there's a whole nother version of SupportAssist that allows you as the partner to manage on behalf of your clients inside of TechDirect. And we have a webinar that's just about getting yourself set up as a partner. So we could go through that. Additional resources. So those FAQs I was talking about, all of our technical documentation, videos, it's all in one place. So if you can remember dell.com/supportassist, you can get here.
Well, Emily, thank you. I mean, we could have made this 2 hours long. There's so much information, so much to cover. So we'll definitely have you both back.
Yeah, we didn't even go into sites and groups, and we had a bunch of questions on those today.
Oh, yes, please. I will come back and talk about sites and groups.
Yeah, we might need an entire hour for just that.
Hey, well, that sounds like a plan, right? We'll definitely have you back. And, you know, there's more to cover on TechDirect, which we'll be doing at the end of the month. So we'll have you both back there. So everybody on this call today, right? If there's more questions and you want to get more into TechDirect, that's what we're doing at the end of the month. So we'll definitely have you back then and past that.
Thank you. Yes, and I did ask Jack to add a survey question to that. So please take some time to answer that for me, because what you guys want is what Emily and I are going to write. So tell us the goods. Thanks, y'all.
Yeah, absolutely. And just a reminder, this has been recorded. We will be posting it on the Detox site probably later this week. It'll be up and live. And then all of the resources shared today, we will collect and send it out in the post-event email. So make sure you take that survey. All of these awesome links will be in the post-event email, and it will be posted on our site along with the recording, hopefully by the end of the week. So Jess, Emily, you know, I'll be seeing you two soon because we've got this webinar coming up on TechDirect. So
awesome.
hopefully everybody else will join us.
Yep. Thank you guys. Talk soon. Thanks, Jack.
Thank you.
Thank you.